So tell me when you're. Oh, all right. Oh, hi, everybody. Welcome to Wednesday Night Wisdom Share Sacred Practices. I'm so glad you're here tonight. I'm so excited about tonight, having Jeff here. Jeff Kingfisher, we've been looking forward to this for a long time. He's going to be doing a sound immersion, sound bath, music bath, and it's called the Sueno Kylo Communal Music Bath. And it's his own healing work that he has kind of created over the years. And of course, you can see here the vast array of all of his instruments, and it's just going to be a phenomenal experience. So I'm so glad you're all here tonight, and whoever's online, thank you for coming. So next week, we have Gail's coming back. Remember Gail Crosby? Gail Crosby. And she's teaching, if your soul alone is what permanently connects you to the divine, then it makes sense that understanding the workings of the soul is absolutely necessary. Did I read that? Does that make sense? Yeah? Good. She says, how much do you know about your soul? What is the difference between spirit and soul? What are the faculties of your soul? What do you have? Why do you have a soul? What is the purpose of the soul? What relationship does your soul have with the divine mind, the world soul, the soul of our earth, and the soul of your brethren, others? So Gail is going to unlock the door to these mysteries, these great mysteries, at next week's Wisdom Share. So come join her. She comes all the way from Yucaipa. She comes all the way from Yucaipa, so come join and support her. And she does a phenomenal job. She's going to be offering, we need to talk about this, Reverend Eunice. I'd like to have her offer a workshop because she has there's so many layers of understanding in the soul work that she's doing. So, and then the following week is going to be on the 24th of November. It's the day before Thanksgiving, right? And so we're going to have a holiday candlelight gratitude meditation with sounds. I'm going to bring some Tibetan singing bowls, and we're going to do a nice little meditative practice that evening. And what I love about this is it's real simple. It's called Gratitude, Love, and Abundance. And I like to always say gratitude opens us up, and ungratefulness pinches us off. It's that simple. And so we're going to create some space to really expand the vibration energy of gratitude and gratefulness, because sometimes we forget to be grateful for things we might take for granted. So we're going to do a really beautiful gratitude practice that evening and call it the Expanding Gratitude. So that's it for our Wednesday Night Wisdom Shares. We're looking again, of course, next month for Reverend Vince. He did a phenomenal share last Wednesday. Was anybody here for that? Yeah. And it was called The Best Is Yet to Come. So no matter how old we are, the best is yet to come. He did a really beautiful job. It was very, very inspiring. So just a couple announcements about the center here. We're really grateful for all your love and generous donations. Of course, our whole beautiful spiritual community is supported by our loving donations, and we are a teaching that teaches about the law of reciprocity. As we give, so shall we receive. As we receive, so shall we give. So we always know that where this beautiful center is very prosperous in every level, from time, talent, and treasure. So thank you so much for all your gifts that help support our center and our presenters. We are really wanting to support our presenters when they come, and so your generous donations help give our presenters some of that donation. So we really appreciate that. We split that with them, so thank you so much. So let's do a little centering practice to get us settled and centered. And we're going to open up our minds, our heart, and our soul to receive this amazing wellspring of wisdom and insight from Jeff Kingfisher. So let's just begin by taking a few conscious breaths. And just noticing the rise and the fall of our breath. As we begin, we give ourselves permission to stop everything, and to be here now. sitting here in this moment, breathing this breath. And as we quiet and still our mind, we align with the sanctuary of our own heart, a center of peace, a place of refuge within. As we quiet and still our mind, we align with this ancient peace and the vast wisdom of the heart, the divine wisdom. I know that each one here this evening, whether we're here in person or online, that we're creating and co-creating a sacred space. Each one here is here on purpose this evening. And each one hears exactly what our soul needs to hear this evening for our own deepening with the connection with the divine presence within, and for the realization of our own soul, the guidance, the wisdom, the love. And so in this place of alignment, we now just open up to receive. We give ourselves this opportunity where we don't have to figure anything out. And even if the mind gets busy sometimes, we bring it back to the breath, back to the moment over and again, while being gentle, patient, and kind with ourselves. And so in this place now, we are open and ready to receive. We throw the doors wide open to the infinite possibilities. We let spirit have its way, and we claim it as so by saying, and so it is. Amen. Yay. All right, Jeff Kingfisher. So excited. I'm going to put this up here. Jeff's on his way over. Hey guys, if you want, there's some mats over there. If you want to lay on the floor, if you want to sit in a chair, wherever's more comfortable for you.
See if I'm here. Yeah, I'm here. I seem to be here. Am I up?
You're up. Jeff's
I'm up. Okay. Hey folks, how are you? Lovely to see you all. Thank you for coming. Just sitting over there quietly, and I actually am hearing a cricket outside. And isn't that a lovely thing to hear crickets? Are they coming back? Have they been here? Is it?
Yes, in Japanese.
Now, I've only spent like all day putting this together, but I did forget to plug in my sustain pedal, so I'm just going to do that right now. So, pardon me while I have a technical moment. There we go. That'll make the piano playing much better, we hope. Welcome to this. Mark, can you mute channel 3 there? Now, that's better, thank you. I left that pesky podium mic on, and it's very noisy, very feedbacky. So yeah, what I'm here to do tonight is to share a little bit of the Sueno practice that I do. Sueno is a practice which I developed, and there's basically 2 parts to it. What I usually do Sueno in my own studio. I have a studio over in Palm Desert, and it begins with casting the musorical. I know some of you here have heard about it. Some of you haven't. What it is, it's right here. It's a system of cards and 12-sided dice that are all based on musical concepts. And they actually, when you lay them out, they actually suggest music for you to play. The musorical is not predictive. Rather than a fortune-telling tool, it is actually a storytelling tool, and the stories that it tells are the ones that you tell. I like to tell people that I'm not a reader. I'm kind of a guide. When we do musorical castings, I just play the music and I know the language of the cards, and people find their own stories in it, and it ends up that we all have our stories that we want to tell. We've all got something right on the tip of our tongue, so it seems, something that we want to share, and the music kind of helps support that. So it starts with that, and we're going to start with that tonight, and then after that we go into the music bathroom, and I have a massage table that is completely surrounded with all these bowls here. It's that they're actually around you 360 degrees. There's things hanging over your head. There's speakers underneath you, in front of you, behind you. I know you. Nice to see you again. Nice to see you again. Cool, cool. So that's the sound bath part of it, and basically where the musical casting leaves off musically is where the sound bath begins. And it's just kind of an interesting thing. You'll find out what it's about here tonight. What it really does is the musical casting, it opens up a place to start. It kind of gives you a place to start wherever you're at, whatever issues are on. You become open there, and that's where it dives in. There's also Reiki. I also use Reiki energy when I'm doing the work. Not so much hands-on Reiki energy, but that is changing. I'm starting to add that in right now, so that's a new development. Anyway, so what I'm doing tonight to make this happen, normally in musical casting, depending on how the dice and the cards fall, can be anywhere from 1 to 12 positions long. If it's a short casting, we bring in more cards and dice, and it can take quite a while. And it's a very personal thing as you find your story. During the pandemic, when I was doing some of these wisdom shares online, I figured out a way to share this stuff with a group of people online, which I never thought that would work because it's so intimate and private. But what I actually do is I do these things called one-up castings, just one musician's die, one black die, one white die, one card, which actually is kind of a lot of information. And everybody picks one ahead of time, and then you can find your own story in it, and if you like, you can share the story or the ideas or any thoughts that you might have about what's going on. And it seems like something that happens often is people start talking between each other, and I saw this, I saw that, I thought I was a number 2, I really feel more like a number 3, that sort of thing happens. And that's cool. And it just starts the ball rolling and gives me something to do musically. So that's what we're going to do. Just playing a little bit here and loosening up. Maybe while I'm doing this, you could think of which casting is yours. Are you a number 1, a number 2, or a number 3? Let's see. Start with a little shuffling action here with these cards. I usually do this ahead of time, but I'm glad I didn't, because we're all here adding our juju to the mix, right? So have we all picked a 1, 2, or a 3? All ready to rock? Okay. Let's see what we have. This is number 1. Key of E descending. I'll lay out these 3 and I'll tell you about them when we get there. The solfege note of Fa, and the card Ossia. Passing number 2. A sharp ascending. The note in the scale is te. Theory. That's an interesting one. They're all interesting. And number 3. F sharp ascending. With a very sharp eye toward the future. Mi, as in do, re, mi. And the card, diminuendo. Okay. So, any number 1s in the group here? We got a couple? Cool. Okay. Lots of folks number 1. We're in the key of, let me get in the right place here. Here we go. We're in the key of E. It's an E descending scale. E is related to the solar plexus chakra. Are you all familiar with the chakras a little bit? Solar plexus, this seat of will, place where we, our power center, the place where we act through, move through the world, get things done. It's a strength that's any of us who do exercise or yoga, we all know about our core and what that means, having a strong core. It's related to that. And the note is fa. Now, fa in a descending scale. Do, do, ti, la, so, fa. So this refers to a point of transition. Fa descending, which is what we have here in a scale. When it's kind of, I think of this scale point as sort of where the rubber meets the road. It's that kind of a transition. It's when things are coming out of the ethers, the world of thoughts and feelings, or the archetypal world above us, and they're just about to actually become manifest. It's that kind of transition. It's like moving into a hands-on reality. And at this time, when that's happening, the card that we have is Osea. And Osea is, in a musical score, is it's an alternate way of playing something. I don't know if any of you play music here, but if sometimes when you look at a piano score, or any score really, but I play the piano, so I see them in piano scores, above the staves, there'll be a little tiny staff with little tiny notes on it. And that's an osea. It's like another way of playing it. And sometimes it's an easier way to play it. Like if it's a Rachmaninoff thing, and no, I can't reach a 10th with my, I can't do that. My hands are too small. Play this instead. You can do it this way. It's going to be fine. So, but it's not necessarily an easier way. It's always a different way. Sometimes it's like, maybe you want to go here today. So it's an alternative path. It's an alternative path. So what we're looking at is this issue around the solar plexus chakra, personal will, strength, and being at a time of transition and having an alternate path in front of you, a fork in the road, and which fork might you take? Does that speak to anybody? Anybody have a story like that? Feel free to share if you like. Any sharers? Don't have to. Can keep it in if you want. No sharers? Okay. So that's what we have musically. Musically, there's no harmony suggested in this, really. Just this scale, this note, and alternate possibilities. Any number twos floating around here? Oh, okay, there's 3 of them, 4 of them. Oh, 5 of them, there's one, okay. All right, this is an interesting one. I would like to point out, too, that the way that these cards and dice work is that sometimes, you have the musician's die references a chakra, the solfege die references a point in process or a point in time. The card generally address states of being. But they don't have to necessarily go in that order. These are just 3 separate elements, and there's nothing concrete about the way that they're put together. You can make whatever you want, find whatever you want, turn them upside down. When you start talking about it, it's always surprising to me. I make the joke sometimes that I allegedly invented this, but it's the other people keep telling me what it means because people tell me a story, what they come with, and I never would have guessed that. I never would have even thought of it. It's just, it's always different for everyone. So it's very loose and playful. It can be playful. So this one, we have A sharp. And it's ascending. Ascending, the ascending and descending thing, when I talk about that's just talking about where the scales are going up or down. Ascending processes, ascending scales tend to be about things that we're trying to make happen. We set an intention, we're trying to make things go, climbing the ladder. Descending scales, descending processes talk about what's coming down, talk about our environment, what's around us. So this one here, we've got an ascending scale moving up, but we have a note. This one, it's not in the scale, it's not in the key, it's a different key. It's coming down the other way. So we're moving up, and there's something coming down in our path. What has entered our path here? And it's the point of opportunity. An opportunity is showing itself. And the opportunity is around theory. It's a theory card. Now, a theory card is an interesting card. It can kind of have negative connotations into just theorizing and being intellectual and all stuck in your head. It can also be about the value of reason, though. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It can have to do with an intellectual understanding of things. It's interesting that this note, this A sharp here, the key, A is the third eye chakra. It's all about thinking. B is the crown chakra, which is our connection to the divine, to our higher selves, to transpersonal. And A sharp then is actually energy moving upward from the third eye chakra up into the crown. And that generally refers to transcending thought, the idea of transcending thought. So you have this movement of transcending thought, and an opportunity presents itself that has to do with thinking. So it's a pretty interesting thing. That could be turned around all sorts of ways. Any ideas on that one? Anybody? Yeah, got some goodies? Okay. Steve?
So I am getting ready to do...
Hang on one second. Our Mark here is going to give you a microphone so the people in television land can hear you.
So I am just starting to think about 2022, and working on a project about the philosophy of value
Ah,
and what we value in our lives and how we value things in our lives. So, I don't know.
that pretty much covers it, doesn't it? It's like, okay, that fits. That fits. Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting. It's interesting. Yeah. Philosophy and thinking. And it's nice. I'm feeling that also because it's actually transcending thought. That's actually kind of a new way of thinking as well, which is kind of works in with that, right? Cool. I look forward to
The
Yes.
version is insightful for me because this whole analytical part of my mind is always trying to figure everything out, you know?
I hear you.
Trying to make things happen and then letting all that go, you know, like and just really tapping into that intuitive. And so that the card I have picked number 2, and I'm kind of in a place where I'm doing some creative stuff, some writing and stuff, and I'm always like, am I going to get this right? You know, my intellect is kicking in. And I really think I keep getting these messages that I'm supposed to not think about that, not worry about it, just start creating and then let that intuitive, because it's like ascending, it's creating something, it's bringing forth. So that's what I got from that, though.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah.
Very insightful.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's almost like there's a little bit of rub, a little bit of conflict in this, because you've got this thing where you're transcending thought and you're thinking about thinking, and somewhere in there's an opportunity to find something new, like a nugget in there, and the musically, we got one of those in there, which always implies transformation. There's something in there that wants to move, that's on the move. So that's kind of part of it.
Jeff,
Yes.
I
There you are.
just now kind of got I was the number 1,
Oh,
but
cool.
it just kind of all came to fruition in my
Okay.
head because I started writing.
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to jump back to that
Okay,
one.
please.
Okay, so the key of you said solar plexus,
Mhm.
which is your power center, and the descending, like things that have been in the etheric up here are going to be manifesting.
Mm-hmm.
Transition was the Fa scale, and the other was doing something in an alternative way. Okay, so I retired 1.5 years ago, and for 1.5 years I've been feeling like I've been on hold. I'm on hold. Like I want to be doing something, but I don't know what. It's not clear. All I've ever done is teach. I still love to teach, but anyway. So today, and also since I've been sitting, the doing part hasn't been there. It's almost like it's been on hold. Today I got a text from somebody who put me in contact with an organization here in the desert, and I filled out the information immediately because it was like, oh, okay, I think something's starting to move. But what it was is it's an organization that helps parents who don't know what to do. They want to homeschool their students, but they don't have the skills. So this organization helps parents learn curriculum, setting up working tutoring, working with students, but not in a public school setting, which I was really not wanting to do. And so it just kind of like, when this came through, I took it as affirmation and validation that, okay, I think I'm on the right track, because it's almost like I came to a fork, and now I'm going to be doing what I love to do, but an alternate way of doing it.
Cool.
It's totally going a different direction.
I love that. That's
And
great.
it has to come from my power center and what I know about education. So it was perfect.
Fantastic. Thank you for that. That's great. Yeah. I mean, it just kind of says it all, doesn't it? I mean, right there in a very, very, very clear way. Thank you. Any other number 2s before we move on? Yes.
Thank you. As you were speaking about the third eye and the crown chakra and thought, the intellect, what came to my mind was that little pamphlet, As a Man Thinketh. and thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. So from the third eye, going to the to the divine chakra, and then manifesting outward. It starts with thought.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Thank you. I like that. Usually, that's a really nice insight. So I usually think of transcending thought. It's like, is it I'm stuck in my head and I transcend it? And I like the idea of actually thought transcends and goes out into the universe and then becomes manifest. That's a really nice insight. Really nice insight. Thank you. Thank you. How about number 3's? Got any of those floating around? Oh, there's a number 3. Okay, cool. Number 3 is in the key of F sharp ascending. So we have chakra rise. F is the heart chakra, and G is the throat chakra. So F sharp is energy moving upward from the heart to the throat. It's a pretty obvious connection is speaking from the heart, speaking sincerely. Has a lot to do with sincerity, really communicating. And this me, the note over it, is also the point of opportunity. It's just the point of opportunity moving upward. So there's this, it's showing an opportunity here. And the card is diminuendo, which means getting quieter. The opposite of a crescendo. And the thing about volume is volume is about force. It's about force. I mean, how do you make a drum louder? You hit it harder. How do you make a drum louder? You blow it harder. And so diminuendo is actually a lessening of force, a lightening of force. So it's showing in this from here, moving up to here, kind of a softening, a pulling back, and somewhere in there, there's an opportunity. Does that speak to you? Yes, that's a sweet one, for sure. And of course, musically, do, re, mi. It's lovely, and it's a nice major third. Doesn't get any sweeter than that, does it? Right. So that's what we've got, folks. We've got three things here, and like I say, a lot of times, I pick number 2. I'm kind of hearing number 3 more for me, but that happens sometimes. And sometimes they talk to each other, these things a little bit. And so the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go up and make some music with these. We're going to start and just see where it all goes. And yeah, so let's do that. We'll have a little time for sharing afterwards, too. We can slowly start to come back now a little. Just feeling ourselves in our body fully sensate. Just simply here, together, being who we are in the most delicious way. Anybody go on a trip? I did. Anybody feel like doing a little singing? Who's in the mood for a sing? Come on, everybody. I was thinking I brought this track in today, and it's a chant. It's a chant, and it's called the Wholeness Prayer. You guys probably know that one. Some of you do here. And it's a call and response, sort of kirtan style. And it does have the G word in it. But we here, I think all in this room, have our experience of the divine, of God, is one of creative mystery, something that we can't know or conceive of, or it's unfathomable to us. But it's I like the word nature for God a lot. It's just another word for it. It really is. I like the Jewish tradition. They always spell God without the O. G-D. I like that because it's like, don't even try and name this. It's just, but I like nature because it's really easy for me to picture, to think of nature as being, it's like as nature proliferates and grows, where does it get its raw material? From nature. There's nothing outside of nature. And I think of that way, of this unfathomable creative source, that we're made of it because there's nothing else to be made of. So this chant is, as I say, it's like a call and response. And I sing, then you sing, then I sing, then you sing, kind of thing. And it's God is the whole of me, love flows through me. Because it seems like when we manage to get quiet and go into this deeper part of ourselves, away from our surface, the sort of extraneous bumping about that we do through life. When you get close to that part, we find that the nature of this indescribable nature is love, and that it expresses, it's always expressing through love and music and art and everything, but it's always proliferating and expressing the way that nature does. So God is the whole of me, love flows through me. And I give, forgive, embrace, receive. And there's a wonderful Sanskrit phrase, Om Mani Padme Hum, which has been described as meaning the lotus flower rises from the mud. Which means, to me, everything is full of this force blossoming into other things. And that everything is made of love and is beautiful and worthy. So let's give it a shot. Shall we? Shall we sing? Let's try it out. If I press the right button, we'll do it right. There we go.
God is the whole of me, love flows through me. God is the whole of me, love flows through me. God is the whole of me, love flows through me. God is the whole of me, love flows through me. I give, forgive, embrace, receive. Om Mani Padme, 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 Om Mani Padme. God is the whole of you, love flows through you. God is the whole of you, love flows through you. God is the whole of you, love flows through you. God is the whole of you, love flows through you. I give, forgive, embrace, receive. Om Mani Padme, 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 Om
Thank you, folks. Thanks for coming and joining me on the adventure.
Wow.
And thank you for all your shares. Again, I learn more about the Muse Oracle every time.
Thank you, Jeff. That was really beautiful. Give him a hand again. Yay.
Thank you. Thank you for coming, folks.
It took me places. It was really beautiful. Wow. I was looking at all your bowls and all that you have and all that you brought. It's fascinating.
Yeah.
I've been to your studio. He has an amazing studio. If you haven't been, I highly recommend it. He does a one-on-one, like he mentioned earlier, but very, very healing and quite the experience, So take part. And he does a Oracle reading for you, and then you go lay on the table, and it's just fascinating. I've got so much insight. So thank you so much, Jeff, for all that you do.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah. And thanks for the plug.
Yeah.
To come on by and see me sometime. Got a nice new space up in Palm Desert. We had to move a few different places. We had closed down entirely during the heart of the pandemic.
Yeah, I used to be part of one of his studios.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Mark here also does a wonderful sound healer and does breath work and all sorts of wonderful things. And we shared a space with another practitioner for a while. And
maybe one day we'll do it again.
yes, but we had to stop at a certain point when we could get no clients, and no one could come in the door.
Right, because of COVID.
Yeah. But I just opened a new space up in up in Palm Desert near Portola. It's a nice space up there. Reverend Eunice here, she and Reverend Rebecca came together. We visioned for this space, and it's very pretty in there. It's
Very beautiful.
Pretty purple and
View of the
white and
mountains.
nice view of the mountains. So hope to see
So
you
I-
guys. Thank you again
So
for
I
coming.
did put the website up on online here, and
Yeah.
if anyone wants, he's got a card right there.
Yeah, I got some
by the
cards
love
over there.
offering.
Gives you all the information
Get all this
where I am and
information,
how to
yeah.
get hold of me and all that good stuff.
All
So thank you, folks.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody. Don't forget Gail Crosby. Gail Crosby next week comes